Welcome back to the Positively Negative podcast,
where we talk about life, love, and the pursuit of positivity in a world that can be quite negative.
I'm Dalio.
And I'm Team Humble.
And we're glad you're here. I love that. That can stay.
Okay.
I love that. That can stay.
That can stay.
I need to turn something off because we've got like this weird sound. Can you hear that weird sound?
Yeah, I think it's just we're doubled up.
What about that?
Yeah.
That's perfect.
4 Phils and Dales are too many Phils and Dales. Could you imagine?
No, I can't actually.
Oh, nightmare co-working scenario.
Yeah. So we have a different setup for recording at the minute. Mainly because it's a local setup rather than a internet voice over IP. And it's a bit of a bind, if I'm honest. It hasn't got hotkeys. I need to email these guys. They've been around for a long time. I just need a hotkey for the player, like to kick off the first thing in the list. That would be really useful. And to turn the inputs on and off, like a hotkey switch to like mute and unmute. That would be amazing. The ability to chain all that together would be even better, of course, but there you go. Anyway, it's Wednesday the 30th. Thanks for everybody who's been listening, all 11 of you.
Yeah, it's 11 more than we had a year ago.
Yay. And Anchor, for some reason, hasn't got back to me on a tweet yet as to why the last 3 episodes haven't had the playback thing. Yeah, I know.
Have they seen how many followers you have on Twitter?
Oh, baby.
I mean...
the 4th one we did, the 4th one back, had like 62 plays, and that got the $sign next to it. So I don't know what the...
We made 70 cents, bitches.
70 cents I didn't have before, so... I mean, I just want to know. I just want to know why you don't love me so.
It's just like, yeah, it's just more understanding, like, what it does. What's actually happening and why they're on like, some and one another's, or what is that threshold?
I want to know what the algorithm is. Is it like after 10 plays within 5 minutes? I don't know what
the algorithm is.
Didn't quite fit, dear. So we have a can of Magners. It's -4 today.
Cheers.
I know it's going to be -1,000 in the Midwest, in the US. Stay inside. If you're out for more than 10 minutes, frostbite, not a good look. Wouldn't recommend.
You know it's bad when, like, the government is like,
if
you have to go outside, please refrain from breathing and talking.
No, it's even worse when Donald Trump is putting YouTube ads up with a button he hasn't filled in.
Oh, God, triggered. I had to stop myself from tweeting it. I had 4 tweets lined up, like...
You had 4 tweets lined up?
Like, you know when you can reply to yourself and you can create, like, a thread? I had a freaking thread with like screenshots in each, and then I realized I might have been the idiot.
Oh.
Because I got a YouTube ad today for Donald Trump's 2020 campaign because he's running, obviously. Number 1, what demographic does Donald Trump think that I'm in that he would think that I would want to see that?
Yeah, but we don't know if he's submitted it. It could be somebody who made it.
That's true. B number 2.
Russia-like.
Yeah. Yep. And so there was like the little banner for the ad had the call to action button, and it said, "Your
mom.
Add your name."
Yeah.
And I'm like, did these mother?
Oh no, it means add your name to the support.
It was like, because I didn't listen to the ad or pay attention to it. It was like a petition.
Oh, I see.
But I was like, did these people really just leave this button empty?
Hey,
to say add your name?
Here's an idea. Why not spend money on people who need it rather than spending it on ads for something that's not going to happen for another year?
Yeah,
just,
but
just thinking ahead, like. Just thinking ahead.
They start early. It's worse every year. It's like, it's a whole year of...
Everything's worse every year.
Nonsense, that's true.
Everything.
Print the t-shirts. Everything's worse every year.
I mean, at one point, watching the film The Day After Tomorrow, the polar vortex was just a made-up sci-fi thing.
That was sci-fi shit.
And guess what? No, it's a reality.
And also, I don't want to talk about it too much because I want to bitch about it more on Product Sense, but I read something that said that California is going to have a 5th season soon. That
what?
Scientists are predicting that California is going to get a
Why
5th
California?
season and it's going to be called a super summer, and it's going to just be the most intense radioactive summer that you can't even go outside in. So they're going to get, because of the droughts and everything there,
Right.
I guess just because of the where they're geographically situated, they're more sensitive to.
So it's not just
Climate
because
change
YouTube
BS.
is based in LA then.
Well, it's probably that. It's probably actually just hell. It's probably it's probably one of the horsemen of the apocalypse being like, "I'm here for your influencers." But yeah, they're gonna experience spring, fall, summer, super summer,
Jesus Christ.
and that's like, you know, that's what they're predicting for the next 20 to 50 years.
We need a bigger boat, man.
Thanks, scientists.
We need a bigger boat. We need one with that like badass stabilizer on it that keeps the boat level. Anyway, we had some topics that we wrote down when we had breakfast.
We did have breakfast.
Let's go with the topics.
Well, the first topic is we had our first web client of the year this month. It is kind of like a nice January wrap up episode because it's the 30th, so we can be all like mystical and introspective about the month. But we had our first web client
Yep.
this year, and they paid.
On time.
Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah, no, that was a good one. It was
You're
a one.
freelancer,
It was
you
a
know
good.
that.
It was a good kickstart, like to get going, and it was much needed, and it fed into other stuff. But it was kind of quiet for Upwork and a few other sites. I mean, I think it's just, I really, really do think it's just people repositioning at the start of a year. I think
What do people do? I mean, I used to work in like a job, but
print
you know what
the
I mean?
T-shirts, gum
No,
roll.
here's the thing. I used to work in a sales job, that like a 9 to 5 situation.
Mm-hmm.
But my sales, we sold to schools, and so I was always getting blown off at holiday time,
Yeah.
summer break time, and then like spring break time. You know, schools have like a freaking break every other week, so.
Right.
So it was also really slow for us in January because it was like, oh well, we just got back from Christmas, leave us alone. We don't know yet. We don't know. And so, but like everybody else, what are they doing in January? Because they sure as hell ain't working with us.
Well, I think the people who've got like coin, they're like having stuff done on the house and getting contractors to finish off stuff that they started. And then I also think they're gearing up to plan for their, I mean, if you look at Upwork with the amount of companies over like 50,000 to 1 million, a lot of those people are hiring people that work on stuff for like 2 or 3 months and then they're away for summer for 3 months.
You know, like who's busy in January? Who's like really cleaning up in January? Those are the people we need to be working with. But so it's a twofold question. Who's
I don't
busy
know,
in
actually.
January, and who is like, what? There are offices all around the world, all around the globe. People
distribution.
just not coming in, or what? I don't get it. Why are people working?
Amazon distribution. I see a lot of jobs for distribution stuff and deliveries.
Yeah, well,
They're going to be the biggest jobs. Like
Yeah.
even before the autonomous cars and transportation delivery stuff comes out, there's jobs on deck
Yeah,
for
just to
delivery
bring
stuff, for
things
Amazon
places.
stuff, and like drivers and
Uber
food
Eats.
places. I mean,
Yeah.
you got to think as well. People who've been in jobs for the so-called job for life or career jobs, they're all getting out and getting their money out and moving abroad and starting up their own startups for the first time, doing box service stuff, you know. And
If you're listening to this podcast and you've been working this month, just tell us what
yeah,
industry you're in.
I'd love to know what industry you're in.
Because everyone just
Yeah.
seems like they're sitting on their thumbs.
I don't know if they are sitting on the
Or maybe they
I don't think
just-
that's true. I think the
It's just- I don't know.
clientele. I think connecting clientele like that with clientele with stuff that we want to work on or have been working on. It's just an eyeballs thing, guys. It really is. Just like, look at this. You know, there's just a lot more people in the world that are doing that really, really well, or they've just got people
Yes.
in that saccharine, caffeinated, you know, like content every single day. You know, so they just don't look anywhere else for it.
I mean, Gary V's working, so.
I mean, well, you only have to look at like Nathan Mars as well. He's been putting tweets out every day. Like he's kind of like, look at Steam. He's noticed that Gary does that in terms of like for his brand and you know the whole hustle culture, which I'm not against, but at the same time, when you're hustling, are you hustling to a goal that you then tell everybody about, or is it just you're constantly in hustle mode?
You're just hustling for hustle's sake.
You know, like I hustle for a chocolate bar, but I don't necessarily stream about it afterwards. Mainly because I'm still eating it like a fat pig on the way home. But
No, I mean, I'm not trying to be salty, but it's like, I feel like we do this every year where it's like batten down the hatches, literally when it comes to the weather and
I don't mind that.
figuratively with,
I don't mind that.
clients.
Listen. I don't ever
Because
want
I
a
don't
job.
need the stress.
I don't want a job. No, well, I don't either. But like, I don't want a job or thing where if I can have January off, great. January sucks.
It's your birthday in January.
So that's one day.
I mean, other than that, it does kind of blow because by that point
January
you're over.
sucks.
You're poor. You're over Christmas. It's cold as fuck, and like.
All right, let me just
You don't
reconfigure
have
something.
any reason
hang
to
on,
give.
hang on.
Live.
Listen, there's a lot of happiness coming out of you right now.
Well, you just said
But
January
what I'm
sucks, and
saying-
you
but no,
converted me.
No, January sucks, but it doesn't mean it always will suck. And like I always
Could
skin
spend
on
it in the
January and whatever.
Bahamas.
But like, it doesn't always have to be that way. I think you just have to change your relationship with it. I think a lot of people are smart who have just like jetted away to Chiang Mai for like 3 months and just like keep the bills down. That's smart, if you ask me. Like,
Yeah, if you could just get somewhere, like I would just love to follow the seasons.
well, that's what you call it does. The nomadic fanatic guy, he just follows 70-degree heat.
Yeah, but that's
And
probably
whoever
the
will
only thing
fly
that I
into
wanna
his-
emulate about his life.
Whoever will fly in and spend time with him. Debatable.
No, I mean, I still have, ever since we went to Portugal last year, I have such a masochist move. Like, I have Lisbon's weather on my sidebar, so I have, like, New York and places, and then I have Lisbon, and it's, like, 57 degrees right now.
The thing is with Lisbon, there's so much unexplored stuff there, for me, and I know for you as well.
Yeah.
Like, it's a place that I could definitely live close by to.
Like, Monday is going to be sunny and 61. If you live in Lisbon,
Yeah, but
you're welcome for the weather
I'm
forecast.
not being funny though. Like, I wouldn't want that
Welcome
year.
the sun.
Yeah, whatever. It's just what you want now, isn't it? It's like, I want warmth while I do what I want to do.
Warmth. I want client work, and I want to live my best life.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I mean, it's easy to get fussy this time of year because it's a lot of indoor time, a lot less sunshine, a lot less vitamin D, and he just rolled his eyes, everybody. It's it's a little bit of a fussy pants time of year, but
Like I
you
say,
batten
just-
down the hatches and you get through
I
it.
also think a lot of people have overspent at Christmas time, and then you only have to go into the soul-sucking malls around here to be like, oh my god.
Yeah.
I honestly don't think people come up for air till February, like end of February. I really don't.
I mean, they're just like literally today, the 30th, and yesterday, the 29th, is now when I'm getting messages like.
But also,
hey,
you got to remember, there's a massive big sentiment thing as well with like the whole Brexit frustration. People are sick of hearing about it. I'm certainly sick of hearing about it back and forth. Then America's like imploding. We're 2 minutes away from doomsday clock. I mean, there's not a lot of happiness
oh,
out
and
there.
I'm the negative one
No,
today.
well, no, I'm just throwing out that there is contributing factors for energy, and you're saying where's the work, where's the people? It's like people just do what we do. They batten down the hatches, and it's like I'll come back when I feel like it feels good again, kind
Let's
of
check
thing.
out Fortnite Team Deathmatch mode.
Yeah, TDM for the win.
That's
TDM.
So
What else have we got on the
annoying to call it
notepad thing?
TDM.
That pink giraffe is freaking me out.
Pink giraffe.
Yeah, look at it. It's like
I
breakdancing.
the ways that I use this device.
Reframe that, please.
Okay, never mind. Moving on.
Maybe. That's what we call it around here, the pink giraffe. Dun, 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 dun.
Hey, show me that long neck. Okay. We've been making
what-
websites. I think I've made probably like 72 websites in the past 3
No,
days.
you haven't. No.
Feels like it. Certainly feels like it.
No, we
but
need
in a
to,
good
but
way.
we've not. Yeah, we're
I think
building
it's-
something.
This is actually the third day in a row that I think I've made 2 websites a day.
Yeah, we're building something kind of cool.
And like you've been really clutch helping with
Something.
the macro. No. I need your macro brain because I get so hyper focused about like really picky design things, and you need somebody in that type of partnership to be like, but do the buttons link where they're supposed to? And I'm like, I don't know, doesn't it look good?
I think
I think we complement each other in that way, even though sometimes we clash about our values.
I've been thinking about it more, and I feel like that's something I'm definitely gonna create a company around, but probably a decentralized Aragon one company rather than the usual one, because
A company around what?
the product that we're
Okay.
putting together, Because I think that makes more sense if somebody said, what do you do? Oh, we design this.
We
And
need
this
to
is...
have something to say at the border, people.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
It's
So I'm saying you
true.
need to have a proper business. You've got to
Yeah.
tick the boxes. So I think that one ticks the boxes and also
yeah, and it's easily understood, and it's like
works for
not
Upwork.
fringe enough, and it doesn't have any connotations of like shadiness.
No, but also I think there's a lot of people coming out of jobs. Like I said, I keep saying it today. A lot of people coming out of jobs, people coming out of jobs with money, starting up their own little startup, super hyper focused niche businesses, and they're literally looking at the web and being like, I don't know where to start. I want a website. I don't know where to start. Do I do WordPress? Do I do decentralized? Is it crypto based?
The
Like,
answer is
what
no.
do I do?
You call us, and we'll.
Call Ghostbusters.
Well, we don't have phones, but you can.
You know what I mean, though.
Tweet
Like,
us.
I feel
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's a product that ticks the boxes for everything.
And
We
it's-
can use it on Upwork, and people say, "Oh, I want this." Well, we have that.
And you know what? It's always something like, for as long as we've known each other, it's always something that we try not to work on, and then we end up working on. Like it's. I feel like it's one of the things in.
Why did we buy an account if we weren't gonna work it at some point?
Yes,
I think
but
you
I'm saying
have
I'm
to.
talking about web design in general. It's like for me, I've tried to get away from it so many
Oh,
times.
yeah, me
because
too.
It's like right, and like how many
pointless.
times, and then it's like every year or two, it's like okay, these people need a website, and like we
It's
can
po-
use the cash. Let's just do it.
It's pointless.
But now we're doing it on our terms where we can actually manage it.
It's pointless. But what I will say is, all the other little embeds and add-ons and iframe stuff and interconnect stuff. It's easier now to mash up a site, a landing page, one-page site, and make it look good on mobile, and bolt in like a spreadsheet and monetize it. Mm-hmm. Like people want hyper niche sites now. They don't want a full like a website you're never going to update for another year. Nobody wants to
No.
pay hosting for another year.
No.
Nobody wants to do all that shit. But like anything that packages that all together and it's cheap and can be done and it's signed off in a day, done.
Right. And I feel like, I don't know, maybe I'm getting mystical. I'm definitely getting mystical, but I think sometimes when you try to run away from things and they keep coming back around and back around and back around, and sometimes it's like forces you to be like, all right, fine, how do I do this? But do it in a way that doesn't end up being like a frustration of,
Yeah.
you know.
I have the same thing with a chip shop.
It's the second time you've brought up the chip shop tonight. And you know what? You can't give me, like, you can't do this to me. I'm fragile, I'm sensitive. And, like, you can't just dangle fish and chips in front of me and not make good on those promises.
Dale had a border fish and chips moment there for a moment.
I had a meltdown earlier. I haven't had any fish and chips in a very long
You had a
time.
meltdown.
Literally, I turned into putty and threw myself on the floor.
What, outside?
No, when you mentioned it the first time.
Oh. What else is on the list?
Is that all you want to talk? You don't want to talk specifics about the secret project?
No, I don't want to talk. When it's finished, we'll talk about it and we'll tell everybody. We'll tell the 11 people as if we were in a
Yeah.
pub somewhere
Maybe
and
by
going,
then
we
there'll be
did this
12.
and none of you will be customers.
Okay, so you can talk about block review.
Yeah, I mean, it's all the same thing, really. It's all factored into the same thing. The block review, we threw that together mainly because I think there's an opportunity in the next couple of years for decentralized brand advocates. I think brand advocates is going to go through a massive change. We've kind of got used to the legacy YouTubers that have been around forever. And I think their audiences are getting older. They're moving on to other. I've seen it with my daughter. She moves to different YouTubers. She kind of gets bored of them. They get real. Like, oh, my wife's leaving me, and I'm, my
I've
time
been making
on
6
YouTube.
videos a day for the past 5 years.
Yeah, but then they realize there's a person behind it. Like Ellen now knows there's a person behind the show, and she's like, I don't want to deal with this guy's problems. I'm off to somebody else.
You need to just generate AIs to entertain the children then.
So, I mean, we have that in some ways. The people who don't film themselves and just open shit.
Let's talk about deep fake faces.
Well, we can talk about that, but also we could talk about the stuff that we watched with Andy Milanakis. Is that his name?
Oh man, yeah, we should link that YouTube
That
channel.
stuff was legit.
I mean, here's my thing with Andy Milanakis.
Yeah.
He's one of those people that, for me, he's like this person that you lose track of and don't think about for 5 years.
But he doesn't age
And
either.
then, yes, but then he comes back and you hear his voice in a cartoon that you really like.
Yeah, yeah.
I've always thought that if I was ever a personality or someone in the entertainment world, I would navigate it the way that he does. Because then he'll be putting out an album, like a rap album.
No,
and
but
then
you know-
he'll be the voice of a character in a show that you
But
like.
the reason why he's into all that stuff is he's listening and absorbing so much. A bit like my daughter now with memes. He's absorbing so much that he's almost become a barometer of that frequency.
Yeah.
So agencies and strategy people and people who've just suddenly come into some money, or a VIP guy or whoever, are like, oh man, I really wish I had a creative for this. And it's sort of like, Andy will give Andy
Yeah,
a beer and
and
Andy
it-
will tell
and
you
it-
everything.
And he's kind of positioned himself like he's good friends with, like, that's another thing. Like, I lost track of him for years, and then end up meeting Justin Warner, the
Right,
chef, and he
right.
was like, oh yeah, Andy and I were getting sushi the other night, and I was like, like Andy's like this, like, hovering
Yeah.
thing, but he like puts himself in those pockets where you end up running into him, kind of a thing. So we, whenever he's on Twitch, it's always a good time because he's usually IRL streaming, like, and just walking around a city and talking to random people, which is great.
Right.
Or in the case of last night, he was like, everybody, we're going to watch every single video
back
on this
catalog.
woman's YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So this woman is Chinese. I don't know anything else about her
No.
because her whole channel's in Chinese.
We think we know she's in Sichuan. Sichuan?
Well, she was making a lot of Szechuan like style
I think that's
dishes.
where she is.
So yeah, forgive my like geographical ignorance, but
clue.
but that's the type of food that she makes. She lives on this huge sprawling property. I guess she's like what Americans would call homesteaders.
Yeah.
But like old school Chinese versions.
She has pots for everything.
She's got like pots and
Twin
vessels.
wielding.
She's got woks like the size of a bathtub. I mean, and like everything she makes is from scratch. Like you watch these videos that are like, they're almost like, they feel like lookbooks. Like they don't need any English. Like anybody could watch them from any language and understand what's going on to an extent.
They're like what a modern day samurai food show would look like.
Yeah, like she doesn't do any talking. It's just like, it's literally just like, it looks like a whole video of B-roll strung together, but it's showing her like making something.
I would say it's almost next generation live, even though it's not live, next generation live cut Instagram influencer on YouTube.
That's what I mean by being like a lookbook. Like
So
every
good.
shot was like number one gorgeous,
Yeah.
but she was like, it takes you from like her walking out into the forest at 5 a.m. chopping down, bamboo, to then stringing up meats and curing meats and like everything 100% from scratch, everything 100%. A lot of it being food videos, and a lot of it being
Well, she's took it literally, right?
yeah.
She's took it literally. She's filming a lifestyle,
Yeah.
which is what the influencers are trying to portray. But what she's doing is, fuck it,
Actually living it.
I'll just film what I'm actually about.
Yeah.
Which is a badass ninja in the middle of nowhere, like with far
literally-
too many chilies in my life.
You don't see any other human being.
No.
There's like chickens and a dog and some cows and some goats.
I'm telling you, she's
Sprawling, beautiful property, and it's like,
she's married to the Yakuza. I'm telling you, that's what she's about. She feeds all the Yakuza off camera. I'm telling you.
and it really, and Andy was like, this is, if you don't know, this is the best channel on YouTube. And I was like, all right, cool, like whatever, Andy.
And Andy, you were right.
And like
It's
4
legit.
videos in, we were like, oh my god. And every 10 minutes, people in chat were like, what's the link? Hit me with that link. Like, I really need to watch these.
So good. Really, really awesomely shot. Great narrative.
I
Like,
wish I could even give a name or something. I literally have no clue what the woman's name is even, but I did sub to the channel.
oh right, okay.
I did follow her, so maybe we can link that. But like, it has this like beautiful, obviously, whatever music you're picturing, that's the music it is. Like this pan flute Chinese
Stunning.
music.
Yeah, I might start
And-
sharing them on Steam Share actually.
Ooh, and like you could probably put the whole channel just on autoplay and just have it on in the background of you working or trying or even meditating, going to sleep. Like it's, I was in prime relaxation watching that last night.
I guess a lot of it has to do with the fact that half the time as well, you don't know what the end game is.
Yeah, because some videos have captions in English, so you can see like, okay, that's garlic. Like you can kind of understand she's
But you
chopping
don't know
up a
what she's
fish.
making. I
But
mean,
you don't know what the finished product is until the
like
end.
when she did the whole like organic lipstick and stuff, I was like, what the fuck?
This woman, she harvested like 60,000 rose petals and made makeup out of it. And I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Like, it's insane, like, level
I
of
don't know.
creativity. I mean, just insane. Like,
right.
but she's managed to convert it into I don't know. Maybe that's. Here's the thing. Now that's the sparks in my head of like, is that what women do of that age who've been successful, like have been handed down a business, or like they've earned the land, or is it family, or did she buy it? Like,
I think that's
so
what
many
keeps you
questions.
coming back is
so
like,
many
yeah,
questions.
you're hoping to like piece together more things from the periphery of the videos.
But there's also like purposely shot shots, of her like making sure that her food is put into containers. So she puts food into containers and you can see she's putting olive oil in it, and then she'll stir it and show you how consistent it is, then put it into a glass jar. So she's perfectly positioned herself that she wants to start selling that stuff under a brand name. Like if somebody could, so no, she won't. But if somebody came in and be like, "You got perfect content for us, and we've got a good product," how would you make our product better? Like there's so many angles that content can go. It's like it's timeless in a way because it's beautifully shot. It has a narrative. It has mystery. This woman's just like out.
Netflix is going to give her a series. You
Yeah,
watch.
for
Move
sure.
over, Marie Kondo.
Imagine if that was all shot in red.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
damn.
and it's like this perfect thing where it's a tutorial that doesn't require any, like the fact that we're from different countries and we don't speak the same language. It's still kind of communicated. Like, you got to see the side of these walks though. It's wild.
It's a little bit like a visual Samsara. If anybody's ever seen Samsara.
Who's she?
Samsara.
Samsara. Who's Samsara?
Samsara. It's like it's kind of an interesting film. It's like an hour and a half documentary. It's just music and like views and shots.
My mom was telling me about that.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
She probably got high and watched it.
Probably. I mean, it is that kind of material, if I'm honest. What else we got to talk about today?
We flew through the topics.
Is that everything?
That was really it. I mean,
that's cool. We can close it up because I'm getting cold and I need to put a
I know
heater
we're gonna
on.
put the heater back on. What
26
time are we?
minutes.
Oh,
I know
that's
it's
sad.
I know it's
I'm
a little
sorry.
bit. No, it's a little bit short, but hey, it's 5:30. Like we've got things to do. Like people will understand. Anchor, if you're listening to this, or AI overlords are processing this audio.
Apple, iPod, Tesla,
Stop
Best Buy.
Stop dropping brands that you want to work with.
Coca-Cola.
No, we don't want to work with Coca-Cola.
I
They
don't
use
work with
fog.
any of those brands.
Do you know how much water they use to make the...
It's the water that's the problem.
Yeah, actually. What, you think it's the sugar? They use so much water to make a can of Coke.
You should see your posture right now.
That's because I don't know if...
You
I'm
look
trying to hold a
like-
burp in, but I'm not quite sure. It's like somewhere in my spine.
It's in your spine. What's it, like acid?
Yeah.
If you crack your back on, you're gonna burp. You
Well-
just store burps.
Yeah, well...
I don't know.
I'm not sure, man.
I'm gonna try to find this.
So, what
channel.
is this? Positively negative? So, like,
What
overall...
is this? 20 minutes in.
Overall, it's been a positive month, I have to say. Like, there's been some downers, but like for a January, it's been good. Like, I've not got a lot of negativity really. I'll be honest. Like, I'm feeling pretty upbeat. I feel fairly
are?
healthy. Yeah, pretty upbeat. I don't have a bad chest. I don't like have headaches. I don't have like a pissy cold or like feeling cold. Like, I can't complain really. I mean, I'd like to get more productive work done in a day rather than be distracted a little bit by certain things. But on the whole, it's been a pretty good month so far, I have to admit.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean.
I'm
yeah.
definitely. Oh. First of all,
Yes.
we have a bread thing going on right now. Like we are making. So one of the things that I said to Dale at the end of last year is like, don't take this the wrong way, but I really want to go bulk on stuff this year. I want to be like buying 15 kilogram bags of chickpeas and rice and flour. Well, actually, flour wasn't part of that equation until recently.
now.
Till recently, where
We had a paradigm shift.
well, it
a
was.
synergistic.
It's because we got stuck in the Indian section in the
We
supermarket,
always end up there too.
and
I don't hate it.
they had the chickpea flour bread
For dosas.
dosa mix, and we tried it, and it's fire. And it's like, right, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do rice and sweet corn, and we're just gonna iterate on
potato.
that, peppers and everything, and we're just gonna wrap them up, store them like burritos, get them out in the morning, fry them up. We haven't done any of that.
Nope.
We just ate the bread.
Nope. Well, okay.
No.
We had problems. We had like
we've got multiple problems. We've got
99,
multiple problems,
in
but
fact.
but like it has prompted now the pursuit of the big bags of flour, chickpeas, and rice. Because if we can get like a 15 kilogram bag of all of that, like we've been literally looking at glass containers for
I have
this
some
stuff.
in my Amazon cart. I found some.
See,
nice ones.
see, it never stops.
Yeah, I've been obsessed. No, I've been obsessed with, like, I think it comes from a couple different things. It comes from like this hacking thing that I have with food, where it's like, how can I make this easy, healthy, replicatable, cheap? And like when I was doing
You
like
sound like Neelix.
I fucking am the Neelix.
Oh my god, I'm gonna start calling you
I
Neelix.
am the freaking morale officer. aren't I?
You wait till I get in the supermarket next time. Oi, Neelix, do we want any of
Don't
this?
you dare.
I am totally saying that. You turn into Neelix, Bizer. You become the food morale officer in this place.
I really feel like I have, but all that to say, like, I was like, I saw this tutorial. I downloaded this app that teaches you things, and
That app's fire.
the app is extra fire. And I think probably somebody hunted it, but
Okay.
it's called Workshops or something, and
Does it have that many O's in the middle?
and a question mark at the end. But it there's a lot of food tutorials, all of which are paid once I open the app, except for one.
Which is the bread
And the
one.
one free one is how to make flatbreads.
Yeah.
Flatbreads are beautiful because they are 3 ingredients and you don't even need an oven. So it's like kind of perfect. So I think I've made 3 batches of flatbreads.
They're great.
Since the weekend.
No, but they're great.
Like, yeah. And
but
I've been
we haven't
adding,
got
like,
to- we haven't got to the
herbs
next
and
level yet.
garlic and like
We haven't got to the next level yet.
yeah,
of
like
that.
I've just been whipping them up for no reason. We actually need to put some organization behind it and like have them ready to go or have them a part of something, not just like, oh my gosh, I'm hungry, let me make some dough.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really want to. I started putting a list together. I want to get some like a good amount of flour.
I wonder what the sound was. I thought it was like we've just been talking about Japan or China, and I could keep hearing these gongs, and it was this wire touching that,
Wow.
and I could hear it somewhere. It was
Wait.
like distant. No, you can't do it now. Don't. Yeah, like that. It was like that. I was like, what the hell is that? It's like just some kind of Japanese thing. It's like, what the fuck? So we haven't got to the next level yet, where it's like, let's make up all the breads, let's go prep it all, and then in the fridge, and then you can bring them out in the morning.
Yeah.
Egg fried rice,
I
some
really
peppers,
like those, like,
wrap them up, job done.
Super easy, almost like survivalistic campfire type foods where it's like
We gotta go that
2
way.
ingredients. Yeah, I know. That's why I'm like, that's kind of why I feel like I'm into it, because it's, you know, if you have 3 things and a fire, you can eat tonight, and
Yeah.
that those type of things are important to me. And it's such a blank canvas to then be creative. I feel like whenever I learn something, I want to know like
Well,
the core, the base level, and then I feel like I give myself permission to riff on it.
the exciting thing for me is if we get all that on lock, like the big bags of that stuff, then we get one of those Explorer ovens that we find like wood for. Then we get like a cast iron skillet,
I'm telling you.
and then
I'm telling
doing
you.
breads and stuff like on a skillet, like
Breads.
done.
Cornbreads,
Yeah,
buns,
yeah.
muffins.
So if you want to donate to the show at the end, that would help with
We're
our
so hungry.
acquisition. Yeah, we're really starving. But like, if you can send us money,
This is our last 2 Magners.
yeah, this is our last cider. It's rough. We're out of apples. Like, help a boy out. So like, any donations at the end, subscribe to the show, all of that stuff, because it really, really does help us get closer to getting an instant pot.
Oh my god.
And we really, really want an instant pot, but we're not dropping 50 quid each on it when we can buy like other stuff like.
You know how much
food and
flour
stuff.
$50 will buy you? I feel like,
Yeah.
you know, I'm
Like,
just saying.
well, we can get the 15 kilogram rice, 15 kilogram chickpeas, and flour for about 50,
we're almost out
and
of
more
sushi
for 50.
rice. And also, I've been really into those
What?
the hard time series. I think that's kind of what has been like
influencing you.
informing my bread making. There's a woman in YouTube called something Emmy. Emmy Eats Japan or Cooks Japan or something like that. She's
Yeah.
Chinese, but
Yeah.
it's a whole thing. But she did this series called Hard Times Recipe, where she actually went back into old like manuscripts and old texts
They had some shit.
and saw what people ate like
They had some crap.
in like the Depression.
It was rough.
And wartime.
What was it? Soup? What was that soup? Was
But so they had people out here skinning grapefruit skins and frying them in a pan like it was chicken.
Jeez,
I mean, we're not there yet, but like
getting close.
if we do get there, just give me some grapefruits. I'll hook us up with dinner.
Anybody know what you can make out of Magna cans?
She also made apple pie out of Ritz crackers. This woman is out of control. But like,
Wow.
that's actually what people did. It's like, you have to feed a family. You got to make it stretch.
Yeah.
And the first items that go are the fresh fruits and vegetables and the meats.
Sure.
So once those are too expensive or they are not available, then it's like, oh, that's when the ingenuity comes out. So.
Well, I want to get ahead of that bell curve, get that ingenuity on lock before March time.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah. Chickpeas.
Yeah, chickpeas for the win, because I love making like halloumi. Not halloumi, what am I on about? Hummus. I love hummus so much. Like so much. All right, we're gonna tidy this up, and we're just gonna.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see if we can play out something without it crashing. That would be nice.
Okay.
See if it happens. I don't know if it will, but we'll see. See you all soon, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, and we're thinking about going into two a week podcasts in February, so be on the lookout for more content.
That's right. All right, we'll see you soon. Bye.
You can support the show by heading to anchor.fm/positive and clicking the support this podcast button, or by checking out any of this week's sponsors.
Subscribe to Positively Negative wherever you listen to podcasts, and you can hang out with us on Discord by visiting smarturl.it/talkback.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.
Yay! Bye!